He legit asked me a question and did not even wait for me to answer the question. Went ahead to answer the question, making a joke out of it. Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Jen Fatimoti and this is my YouTube channel. I've passively talked about how I rebuilt my self-confidence and how my self-confidence was in the trash in some of my videos, and today what we're going to do is get into it. I'm going to share with you how I was able to get my self-confidence out of the trash to where it is today. Just going to be sharing my own personal story, my own personal experience. If that sounds like something you're interested in, then please keep watching. We're going to be doing a little bit of backstory today. So as a child, I was born shy, very timid. I would always hide behind my mom whenever we go out or there were people around me. I struggled a lot with how I looked, my physical appearance while I was growing up. I never used to think that I was beautiful. Somehow I convinced myself that I was ugly, and I would attribute this to maybe my skin color. While growing up, being black or being very dark skinned wasn't very much appreciated. So a lot of times when people would want to describe me or call me, would say things like blackie. I would maybe sit with the questions or sit with the way these people have described me and just come to a conclusion that, oh, black people, maybe black people are not just fine. And that was where that came in. So that was one. Another thing was the body scars. As a child growing up, I noticed that it wasn't normal because not everybody had those spots and scars on their body. So why me? Like, what's all this? What's going on? That also added to it. I would be very self-conscious about the things that I wear. Going through a weird phase. I was already going through some sort of identity crisis. I did not know who I was. I did not know where I belonged. I really did not have anyone to talk about these things. So for me, growing up, I always kept to myself. There really wasn't anyone around me that I could talk to. I'm older than my sister, who is currently my best friend and the one person that I always reach out to, with about 5 plus years, almost 6 years. Within that 6 years before she was born, there was really nobody to, talk to about how I'm feeling. I don't know what it was, but I know for a fact that I really wasn't talking to my mom much about these things because she would always give generic responses and be like, please don't mind what they're saying. But that didn't really do anything for me. It still left me with so many questions, so many things that were going on in my head, in my mind. So now let's fast forward to this car, like a home accident in the kitchen. This was when I just finished SS3 exam, junior YEC exam. That holiday, Isha left me with a very huge scar on my right hand. It made everything worse. So now think about everything that I was already going through, and this now happened. I was just like, nah, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. People would always ask questions. What happened to you? What happened? People would always stare at you. People would always look at you. There was even one incident that I would always remember. I don't think I can ever forget. I was on my way to school. This man literally stopped me and was like, fine girl, what happened to your hand? And before I could even answer, he was like, Abby, your mom was frying fish and you went to took your hand inside to take out fish or to steal fish or something like that. I can't really remember. To him, it sounded, or he felt like he was just making a joke. But for me, it wasn't funny at that time. It was something that I was not comfortable with, and you're making a joke out of it. It's not a joke, it's not funny. So I was like, okay. And this is just one of the many instances, many times people have walked up to me to say weird things. This kept on happening, and it just basically shaped how I grew up, how I became the woman I am today. Now, how did it shape me? Remember, I was already battling with body scars. So every time I was to get clothes, every time I was to shop for clothes, I would always lean towards the ones that would cover my scars, cover my hand. At this point, I wasn't dressing for fashion. I was dressing to hide my insecurities so that people would not ask me questions, just to avoid the weird questions and avoid people staring at me. Because already I'm a shy person and I now have something that is drawing attention to me. It was just really very uncomfortable. Struggled with this all through secondary school. Now let's move to when I got into university. This actually shaped my entire social life in school. I was doing three things literally: going for classes, going to the chapel, and going to get food. Outside of those three things, I'm in my room. I always was in my room. No extracurricular activities. I was not interested in participating in anything. I just wanted to be inside where nobody would see me and ask me questions. Also, when people would invite me to places, before I would accept, I would think about it. Oh my God, this place that I'm going, I would have to meet new people. They would ask me what happened to my hand, and even the ones that cannot ask me what happened to my hand, they would continue staring at me. So I would think about all of this and just feel like there's really no point. It's not worth it. Let me just stay inside. Every friend that I have when I left Covenant University, when I left school, were once my roommates. Anybody that I say, oh, this is my friend, just know that at some point in school, we were roommates because that was the only way I could make friends. I also think that society did not help. Growing up in Nigeria, where everybody had their opinion, everybody just wanted to come and shove their opinion down your throat. So people will be like, Jesus, what happened to your hand? That thank God, oh, thank God that is not your face. Okay, so my hand is not important, or I don't get it. Make it make sense. I would be so upset. What do you mean? Thank God it wasn't my face. Like, what does that even mean? And I used to think that they were trying to downplay what I was going through. Anywho, I don't want to drag this story time. I'm just trying to give context to what I went through and how like my life was shaped because of the insecurities that I had and how I now rebuilt my self-confidence. So it was when I was in school. I remember a semester I came back home. At this point, I think I started opening up to my mom a little bit. I came back home and I was really crying that I did not want to go back to school, that it was very uncomfortable for me there. Everybody seems to look perfect, to have things figured out. And I had like no friends, nobody wanted to be my friend. This is what I literally said, that because of my scar, nobody wanted to associate with me, nobody wanted to be my friend. Things happened. People said things that made me think that way. My mom spoke to me after I went to her with how I was feeling. She does not even have time to pay. She just be like, "What rubbish are you saying? If they don't want to be your friend, let them go. Like, do you need them?" She would say things like that, and that was her own way of comforting me or trying to make me feel better. But as a child, I feel like, or I felt like I needed friends. I needed people around me. My dad, there's one thing that my dad says to me that I would always remember. He would always say that it was an accident, it wasn't your fault. Life happens. It's what you make out of the situation that matters, not the situation itself I'm by going itself. To share with you four things that I actually did. These are not even look in the mirror and tell yourself that you're beautiful type of things. It's not really about affirmation. First thing that I did was a mental shift. What helps me with this podcast, YouTube videos, I would watch TED Talks on body positivity, self image. It did not start physically, it started in my head and in my mind. I told myself that I couldn't continue like this. I know that what has happened to me, my scars should not define who I become or who I choose to become. And if I had continued like that, I definitely would not achieve anything in life. I would not have anyone in my corner. I would not do anything. I would not go anywhere. I would always be throwing a pity party for myself in my room. And if there's one thing that I hate the most is pity party. And because I knew that I can't keep doing it, I went to look for what could help me. And when I found things that could help me, I would implement these things. I told myself that I had to practice it. And that was where I learned how to journal, how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, process my thoughts, dissect my emotions. For example, if something upsets me in the moment, maybe somebody said something that wasn't really nice, instead of me shrinking again, I would sit down with what the person said and be like, okay, this person has said this thing. Is it true? Am I really like this? Am I really ugly? What does ugly mean? What does beautiful mean? I had to sit down with that. I had to answer all of these questions. I looked at the people that I would admire and be like, oh, this person seems so perfect. What were the things they were doing? So it's really not about coming to the mirror and saying I'm beautiful. Yes, your words are very powerful. It was a word of people that would call me blacky that made me somehow think that being black wasn't beautiful, and I just concluded that I wasn't beautiful because I was dark skinned. Another thing that I did was building a personal relationship with God, and I understood who I was in Christ, that I am beautifully, fearfully, and wonderfully made. I said that a lot. I read it a lot until I believed it. I'm telling you that these things did not take 1 year, it did not take 2 years. Even now that I'm sitting here, I'm still on this journey, because if you go on my social media, you would never see me flaunt my hand, or you will never see me casually putting out my hand. I used to intentionally hide my hands in pictures. And then when people are trying to take pictures of me, I'm be like very cautious, like, is my hand showing? Because I used to think that, oh, it's not aesthetically pleasing. Why? Like, why was I very hard on myself? Like, why was I that hard on myself? So, like, the picture thing is still something that I have not yet gotten to the point where if someone takes a picture of me, maybe in a public place, and my hand is showing, I would be fine with it. Sometimes it's very uncomfortable. Like, I would think about it and think about it and think about it. The last thing that I did was setting boundaries for myself. So if you come up to me and you're very disrespectful and you talk anyhow, you do not have emotional intelligence, I'm sorry, I just cannot be around you. I tried to make sure that I curated my environment. People that would not constantly try to bring me down intentionally, like it or not, what people say to you would affect you. I remember one time, I'm not going to say who, but someone really close to me. This was when I was younger. I did not really used to smile a lot, like, because I really had nothing to smile about, right? So I would always frown my face, bone my face, and squeeze my face. I had like a very straight resting face, and I cannot just be moving around. So my face was even up till now, I still have like a very straight face, like. So this person literally said that, why are you always squeezing your face? You already look like a monkey. Instead of you to smile so you can look finer. Mind you, I was not even up to a teenager. I wasn't even up to 12 years when this person said this thing to me. I don't know if the person is going to watch this video and if this person would remember saying this to me, but that's would always ring in my head. Saying all of this to emphasize on the fact that the people that you have around you, the people that you keep around you, and the things that they say to and about you matters a lot. You would not even think it does, but it does. Take it from me. What I know as what is true for me now is I am very beautiful. Nothing anybody can nothing anybody can say argue with your keeper. Even when sometimes people say that, oh, it can be very vain, very vague, especially if you have nothing going on up here in your head. There's only beauty you have going on for you. I don't care. I'm sure very beautiful because I know where I'm coming from. I know what I had to deal with to get to this point in the first place. So nothing anybody can tell me. I'm a fine babe and I'm moving with that. But also my brand entirely is soft life with substance. So there has to be substance. I'm constantly improving in things that I do not know, in areas where I feel like I'm lacking, because yes, your beauty will get you in rooms, but you need to have something to offer when you get inside that room. So it's a journey. I think it's a lifelong journey. Now I take announcements in church. I would literally be talking in front of how many people, hundreds of people, me care. Somebody had said that I would do this 5 6 years ago, I'll just be like, you're just lying, you're just joking, why are you whining me? But that just says so much for growth and how your life can change if you are intentional. If you really want something, there's really nothing you cannot achieve if you set your mind to it. And I'm a testament to that when it comes to self-confidence, looking back at where I've come from and where I am now and where I'm even going. So I've shared this story. I don't think that I would want to go on and on and on and on as I continue to make content about my confidence story, my scar story. It is part of the journey. It is not entirely who I am. So I'm just putting it out there that if you're struggling with anything and it's affecting your confidence, it is normal. It is just left for you to tell yourself that this cannot be who I am. This is not who I want to be, and I cannot let this thing that has happened shape my life, shape who I become. Literal example of when life gives you lemon, you make lemonade out of it, right? I've come to the end of this video. If you watched to this part and you like me to highlight on anything, have more questions, please let me know in the comments. Thank you for sticking around up to this point. I love you so much. I love you so much. And you should know you should know this by now. Do not forget to like this video, share this video with someone who might be dealing with insecurities, just so they know that they are not alone. We all struggle with these things. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you next week Wednesday. Bye, my loves. Mwah.